Alright friends, so let us remember humans are waterproof and we're actually a lot more resilient than possible than we think we are. And the only downside of being outdoors when the weather is a little bit wet or cold is obviously you don't want to catch hypothermia, you don't want to die, but as long as it's not like 20 degrees below zero like in North Dakota without some sort of protective gear, I think you're gonna be okay. So I actually do find that the cadence of my thoughts is actually superior when actually it is a little bit cold and miserable, and I'm actually a little bit cold and shivering. It actually tends to be a good thing in terms of, you know, concentrating in my mind and stuff like that. And this is actually why I'm like quite a religious follower of cold water showers, and I don't really think I've intentionally taken a warm shower in quite a long time. But anyways, so my last video I was talking about like why write. So my great joy of thinking, writing, creating, producing, just putting it out there. So essentially to write is to graph, to essentially etch into stone. So certainly there's like some sort of human instinct where we want to superimpose our will or our thoughts or ideas into some sort of like, you know, tablet form or stone form, whatever it may be. And to graph is kind of interesting because, you know, I consider myself a photographer, a word grapher, an image grapher. Like I like to write, and I like to imbue and embed my will, my thoughts, my ideas, my artistic soul into things. So for me, the great joy of creating stuff and writing stuff and making stuff is that every time you put something out there and you publish something, it makes you feel like stronger, more full, happier, more joyful. And the fact that the feeling that you're somehow affecting external reality seems like quite a great joy, because I think most people actually end up feeling like depressed because you feel that, like, I know this is how I felt in the past, you feel like you cannot affect external reality, and therefore you actually become a little bit sad and depressed because, well, I kind of like this, the cone there, the water there, and then the green there. This is like a good still life. Anyways, so yeah, so essentially when it comes to life, I think we end up feeling like quite depressed when we feel like our thoughts, our creations, ourselves are not worthy, and also maybe when we kind of lack the courage to just like put things out there. And I'm very just kind of lucky that, you know, my mama taught me to have a high self-esteem. She never doubted me, talked down on me, whatever. So really grateful to my mom. And also being, you know, born in a Confucian culture where males are actually quite seen as quite dominant and worthy of respect. And I'm also the eldest son of the eldest son, so I was always kind of treated like a king ever since I was a kid. So essentially, what's interesting, help wanted. Huh. Looks like there's a shortage of labor right now. So anyways, so when you express yourself, when you create things, when you make stuff, it is quite fantastic, because it does make you feel happier, more alive and richer. And perhaps like the joy of the artist or the creator is you're so overly abundant with life and you're brimming with excess power and energy, and you have great joy to express it and put it out there, and it feels like you're exerting your will. And I think there's also kind of this childlike sense of like, we kind of get this joy in like cause and effect, where you got something in your mind or your body, your soul, like certainly your body and your soul is from the bottom of your feet up to your head, and everything in between is part of your body and your soul. And certainly there's kind of a joy we get in order to externalize this in some sort of digital form. So this is why I just freaking like love digital things. And this is why I also love YouTube, because in the past I never would have had the opportunity to capture and document video. Like, just consider how expensive it must have been to make video in the past. And now, like, when I could create stuff, I can essentially put on the internet for free, which is like, the more I think about it, the more it kind of blows my mind. And I'm so grateful I didn't go to art school or none of that and get indoctrinated with all that crap. In fact, I actually do feel that it's much more effective and robust to unlearn nonsense and to unlearn low self-esteem kind of things than to have quote-unquote high self-esteem. Interesting. So there's this word that I quite like is the word means like to kind of like impute or to like press outwards or to express. And you know, it's funny because the notion of self-expression is like such a throwaway term now, because I don't really think the word really carries any weight no more. But to express means to literally press outwards. Is that like you got this idea and you want to, you know, press it outwards into external reality. And external reality is kind of interesting because to me external reality is just anything that's outside of your head or outside your body. So external reality could be, you know, like the internet or YouTube, your web page, your blog, whatever it may be. And you know, even though I'm like pretty anti-social media for the most part, you know, better to put it on social media than to not put it nowhere, anywheres. And to keep it simple, youtube.com or wordpress.com seems like good simple options. But I really do think that the goal is for you to express yourself more, you know, artistically or just anything. So even the word artistically is kind of a misnomer too, because art just means technique. So to write, to blog, to vlog, to photograph, all these are just different techniques of expression. So certainly expression is good. The more you express to yourself, the better. And the more courageous you are in terms of expression is the best. So next video I'll talk a little bit more about expression and kind of some potential thoughts. Yo, don't you love that green?